Welcome to Morning Mindset, a daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markle. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Morning Mindset Podcast. And I want to take a quick moment to thank you guys for leaving reviews of the show and for sharing this with other people, for letting other people know. Share it on your social media, share it with your friends. You can actually talk to humans. If you have some humans that you know, you can talk to them and say, hey, listen to Paul Markle's Morning Mindset. Or you can share it on your social media or whatever you want to do there. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, give yourselves... Oh, that wasn't the right one. Give yourselves a hand. All right, now that we've given ourselves a hand and had a good laugh, let's talk about time management. Time management, yes, indeed. What is that all about? Well, if you had, I'm going to guess that if you're an adult human being, that you probably have had many people, whether they were coaches or teachers or mentors or your parents, who have instructed you or demanded that you make the most of your available time. If you're an employee, and you probably have, if you're not an employee, you probably have been at some point in time in your life, and your bosses, your managers, your supervisors all expected you to make the most of the available time that you had. If you work on deadlines, many of you may be creative type people, whether it's writing or video editing or music editing or what have you. You have a timeline. You've got to get it done within a certain time. You can't just do it whenever. If you are a manufacturer, you have a timeline. You have to deliver products in a certain time. You can't just do it whenever you feel like it. Now, you might have a job where you can deliver and finish things whenever you feel like it. Congratulations if you have that kind of job, but those are very few and far between. And right now, the current situation that we find ourselves in the United States is that a lot of people, many of you who may be listening right now, find yourself with more time on your hands than you normally have. How is that working out for you? You know, we always, when we're at work or when we're, maybe we're in school or what have you, you wish you had more time. Man, I wish I had more time off. Man, I wish the weekend was longer. I'm waiting for a 3-day weekend. Or when you're in the military, you pray for a 96. You wait, you check your calendar and you look and you're like, oh, there's a 96 coming up. Now, I don't know if they still do that, but I know they did when I was in. A 96 is a 4-day weekend. That's 96 hours. You get a 4-day weekend. You don't have to do anything. You don't report in, nothing. It's fantastic. It's like a mini paid vacation. Now, a lot of you guys out there find yourselves on, well, not necessarily a vacation, but you find yourselves with a lot of time on your hands or more time on your hands than you normally have. And my main question to you is, how is your time management working? This could be time. This could be a good occasion for you to take stock of your time management skills or your schedule. What are you doing to manage your time? How are you making the most of your time? And when you have when it seems as though you have a lot of time on your hands, often it slips away from you because time is a constant thing. It is always moving. It is never going to stop. Not as long as we're living on planet Earth here. So what are we doing with that time? One of the, well, I'm going to say downfalls or pitfalls of having a lot of time, or the perception of a lot of time, is that we don't put any emphasis on what we're doing and when we're doing it. For instance, you might have been thinking, well, I have lots of time. You know, I don't know when I'm going back to work, or my boss told me to work from home, but now I've discovered that when I work from home, I can do everything I need to do in 3 hours versus 6 hours if I got up and drove to the office, or what normally took me 8 hours to do at the office now only takes me 3 or 4 hours to do, and I have more time on my hands. And because you have that time on your hands, it's easy to think that it will always be there and to not get started. Well, I'll get to that because I've got time. I still have time. Plenty of time. How many college kids, how many teenagers do you know operate exactly like that? They have lots of time, so they don't even get started. They don't even worry about it. I'll get to that eventually. Now, mature adults, we say, yeah, I know. I've been down that road, and I know exactly how that game plays out. I know exactly the end to that story. The end of that story is you run out of time, and then you have to hurry. Then you have to do things in a hurried fashion. You might have to rush a job, or the job doesn't get done as well as it could have because you no longer have time. Time management. If you talk to people or you examine the lives of people who you would consider to be a success, whether they are a business success or they are a musical success or whether they are a success in entertainment or what have you, if you emulate that or you want to emulate that person, if you admire that person, you say, man, that person, they seem to have it all. They're a success in their field of endeavor, and I want to be like them. What you may not know, and what you probably don't know, and what we talked yesterday, we talked about the Adam Copeland story, the Edge story, and they followed him around, and they did little video segments of him getting up early in the morning and going into his gym and practicing and training and doing this and that and so forth. What you don't see when you see successful people, and you're like, man, I wish I could be like that guy, or that guy is a success, and I want to be more like him or her or whatever. What you probably don't see, and what's below the surface, is their time management and what they do with their time. Most of those people that you would consider to be a success are probably early risers. They either are early risers or they stay up way late at night. Some people work better at night. Some people work better in the morning. But the fact of the matter is, they manage their time. They schedule themselves. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be a monk and you have to, live by a minute-to-minute calendar, but you also need to do some deliberate thought, put some deliberate thought into your daily calendar and your schedule. If you want to be a success, if you want to achieve, this current crisis that we're in will not last forever. It might seem like it, but it's not going to last forever. Eventually, things will get back to semi-normal or regular normal. And what you need to be able to say to yourself is, hey, with that time on my hands, I accomplished blank. What did you accomplish? What do you expect to accomplish? What could you potentially accomplish? Will you come out of this extra time situation better, stronger, smarter, more well-educated than you were? Or are you going to come out on the other side exactly the same way? It's kind of like the parable of the talents. And the landowner was going on a trip, and he gave his 3 servants talents. And in that time, talents was used as money. He gave them 3 talents, and he gave one 5, he gave one 10, and he gave one 1. And the guy who he gave the 5 to took it, invested it, and doubled it. And the guy who he gave 10 to did the same thing, invested it, and got it. And the guy who had 1 went and took that talent and buried it in a hole in the ground. And then when his master returned, he dug it up and he said, here you go. This is what you gave me, and I'm giving it right back to you. He had no return for his investment. He came out the exact same as he was when he started. That is a waste of talent. It is a waste of time. So my question to you is, what are you going to do with this available time? How are you going to manage your time? Gut check. This is gut check time. Are you managing it well, or could you be managing your time better than you are? And only you can answer that question. But I would pray for you that when we come out of this time of crisis in our nation, that you come out and you are better than you were before. That you're better educated, you're better trained. Maybe you can play a song on the guitar that you couldn't play before. Maybe you can play a song on the piano that you couldn't play before. Maybe you just teach yourself to play the piano or whatever it happens to be. Maybe you're going to write a fiction story. I don't know. Time. It's always moving. It's never going to stop. It's up to you to manage it properly and make the most of it. And that is my challenge to you on this day, on this very morning mindset. Thank you very much for supporting the show. Thank you for telling people about it. Thank you for reading the books, buying the books, because it does matter. Believe it or not, I don't do this show for fun. Well, I mean, I do it for enjoyment, but also this is how I make my living. All right. Yeah, that was... Yeah, other people think I'm funny. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being a member of the Morning Mindset audience. I am your host, Paul Markle. I will talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markle, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.